USA basketball coming together this past Tuesday for its 13-day training camp in Las Vegas in preparation for the Olympics, which will include exhibitions against Australia, Argentina, and Spain. Their first exhibition game is tomorrow against Nigeria. Team USA has assembled quite the roster, and it's not even full yet. Plenty of backcourt scoring, including Bradley Beal, Zach LaVine, and Damian Lillard. Kevin Durant and Jason Tatum on the wing. Bam Adebayo and Kevin Love expected to anchor the middle. Devin Booker, Drew Holiday, and Chris Middleton will join following the conclusion of the NBA Finals. Senior NBA writer Brian Windhorst joining us now on SportsCenter. Brian, what's the latest buzz coming out of the first few days of Team USA practice in Vegas?
Yeah, Jay, so they've let some NBA scouts and executives watch the scrimmages, and what those guys report is, wow, is the team small. I mean, Team USA for decades has always had size because all of those European teams that they have to play against all have those big, strong centers. This year, guys like Rudy Gobert or Marc Gasol they could see in Tokyo. They've just gone different this time. They've gone small. They've been starting Bam Adebayo in the scrimmages against the select team. They've been bringing Draymond Green off as the backup center with a little bit of Kevin Love. And there's even been times where they could see going to Kevin Durant at center, going with the NBA revolution of small ball. So that's where they're playing. They haven't had the greatest week so far. I've been told that the USA select team actually beat them in their first scrimmage that they had 2 days ago. The senior team came back and won yesterday, and today there's not going to be scrimmaging. So we'll get a good test of where they are against Nigeria tomorrow, which has 8 NBA players on its roster.
All right, let's talk about one of the guys on the team. Damian Lillard spoke yesterday for the first time since the Blazers were eliminated from the playoffs last month. What's he saying about his future in Portland?
Well, if I could just be frank with you, Jay, it was a non-denial about trade rumors. Now, he has dealt with trade rumors really for the last 4 or 5 years on and off. And over, he has always said, no, I want to be in Portland. This is I want to be with these teammates. He stopped short of that this time. He said, whatever I need to say about the direction of the team, as I've said to the team. And that was it. He left it there. Now, you can interpret that many different ways. The reality is, people around Damian Lillard have been saber-rattling, both behind the scenes with other teams and also with the Trailblazers themselves. I don't think he's gotten to that threshold yet, but I think he's closer than he has been in the past, and I think those comments yesterday were revealing in that regard.
Wow, keep an eye on that. Dame has 3 years remaining on his current deal with a player option for 2024-2025. Brian Windhorst with us on SportsCenter. Brian, thank you. Welcome back to SportsCenter. Jay Harris, Gary Striewski with you. It is time for half-hour headlines.
Who knew that last month in Denver when Nick McKellar called Suns in 4? He wasn't just talking about that series with the Nuggets. Not there yet, but we're halfway. The Suns teaching us a few things last night from the desert. We'll call it the University of Phoenix. Lesson 1, when you hit 8 threes in the first quarter, doesn't matter if you only have 1 non-3 field goal in the frame. Devin Booker finished with 7 threes total. Suns shot 50% from distance as a team getting the 10-point Game 2 win. Booker's remarkable postseason run continues with 31 points last night. He is now up to 490 in his first playoffs. That's the third most all-time by a player in his first NBA postseason, trailing only Rick Barry, who had 521 points in the 1967 playoffs, and Julius Erving, who had 518 points in the 1977 playoffs.
Gary, rookie reliever Daniel Camarena stole the night in Major League Baseball when he hit a grand slam off of Max Scherzer in the 4th inning as the Padres turned an 8-0 deficit into a 9-8 win over the Nationals. It was his first hit in the majors. He was called up earlier in the day for his second stint with the Padres.
Vanilla Ice, Rick Astley, and now add the Yankees as the most recent one-hit wonders. Yesterday in Seattle, Mariners rookie Logan Gilbert pitched a gem, 7 innings, 1 hit, and a career-high 8 strikeouts. If you're wondering who got that lone hit, Giancarlo Stanton. Seattle hit 3 homers in their 4-0 win.
With Tyson Fury testing positive for COVID-19, his third fight with Deontay Wilder will be postponed likely until the fall. Fury and Wilder were scheduled to meet July 24th in Las Vegas to complete their trilogy. Fury, the English champ, considered the pound-for-pound best heavyweight in the world. Here's Bernardo Osuna with more.
He is losing out on a lot because he already had a $100 million deal to fight Anthony Joshua in Saudi Arabia. An arbitrator made this third fight happen, and they had plans to make that fight by the end of the year. If this fight goes until October, then we may be talking about next spring if something happens, someone gets cut, because both fighters have fights coming up in the fall.
Bernardo, thank you much. I hope it's not postponed again. I hope it's the fall and not next spring. I want to see this. Yes.
We're talking about Poirier, McGregor, who don't like each other. These guys on that same exact footing.
Absolutely.
Those are your half-hour headlines.
We want to get done what we got to get done. We're all going to have to sacrifice something.
At the end of the day, I'm out there. I feel good. I don't feel pain.
Don't get nervous now.
Are you ready? Hey, are you ready for this? Are you hanging on the edge?
Dominating right now. Booker, long three-pointer. That's good. Devin Booker with a 7-footer right on him.
It's a 0-0 mindset for us going into game 3. We know it gets rowdy in Milwaukee, but I think we're ready for it.
Deer Park awaits, but first, Chris Paul and Devin Booker aren't just dominating the Bucks. They are piling up some numbers we have never seen before. They've combined for 113 points in the first 2 games of this series. That's the most by a starting backcourt through 2 NBA Finals games since the league started tracking starters back in 1971. As SC On the Road continues, presented by Rocket Mortgage, Kendrick Perkins and Monica McNutt back with us this morning on SportsCenter. Perk, I want to start with you. What stands out to you about the Suns' performance through 2 games of this series?
Well, everything. We already know that the Suns got talent. We know that they got skills, right? We know that they're tied on the string defensively. We know that they play beautiful basketball on the offensive end. We know all those things. But one thing that stands out to me is the growth, the maturity level, the IQ of the young guys. And I'm talking about Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Cameron Payne. And when I say the maturity level, I'm not talking about making shots. I'm talking about rotating on defense. I'm talking about getting in your sets, making plays for others, passing up good shots to get great shots. And then to top it off, I want to listen to the post-game interviews and listen to these young guys speak that gospel and that knowledge and embrace being in the finals and tell the world that the mission is not complete and not get too high and get ahead of themselves, but stay in the moment, live in the moment. That's the most impressive thing that has struck me from game 1 and game 2 about this Phoenix Suns team is their young core, their maturity level, and their high IQ.
Suns improved to 7-1 in games 1 and 2 of the series so far this postseason. And you talk about things that have impressed you, Perk. Something that impressed all of us this morning is your ability to battle through the adversity, because apparently some bird decided to pick beef with you of all people. But apparently, according to Google, that's good luck.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, look, he caught me when my back was turned, you know what I mean? But you know what happens. The real ones get through it, G. The real ones get through it. You wipe it off and keep it moving. That's how we do it in the country.
That's exactly what you did. That bird will be nowhere near you anymore because he knows now Perk is on the lookout. Kendrick Perkins joining us this morning, clean on SportsCenter. Thanks, Perk.
Appreciate you.
Really, Google says that's good luck?
I think you told me.
Monica, have you ever had that kind of good luck?
I have not had it. I don't need it, but I have heard that is a thing, supposedly.
Okay, all right. Every time I get the car detailed, but never on, we'll leave that alone. Monica, Giannis said he is not worried about Jrue Holiday's offensive struggles through 2 games of this series. What chance do you give the Bucks of winning the series if their supporting cast continues to play the way it has?
Jay, I don't see it happening, quite frankly. If this supporting cast can't step into the very large shoes that they managed to fill through the regular season and even through this postseason up until this point, it is going to be too much for Giannis to contend with the efficiency with which this Phoenix Suns squad is playing. Last night, they shot 50% from the 3. They were 48% from the field. In game 1, they were 46% from the field. Do I think Phoenix will remain this torrid? No. But on the flip side, if the Bucks can't find a way to put the ball in the basket outside of Giannis, who gave you 42, who gave you 30 or 20 rather in his first game, 20 and 17, it just can't be done. Now, history says that Chris Middleton gets off to slow starts in these playoff series. This isn't the first time he shot a poor field goal percentage. He shot 26% from the field twice in the previous 2 series. And then he had outbreak games where he did get back on track. So I'm hoping that the home cooking, sleeping in their own bed, shooting around on their own gyms, all of that good stuff helps wake up Chris Middleton, because it is going to be entirely too much for Giannis to contend with by himself.
Well, in order for Milwaukee to win the title, they're going to have to become just the second team in NBA postseason history to win multiple series in a single playoffs after trailing 2-0. Monica McNutt with us on SportsCenter. Thank you, Monica.